Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brenda Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brenda Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, of course, is Friday night. We got to talk about Owns Ready to Love. This is season 10, episode 6, titled The Nudist. Before we get into it, y'all, please don't hesitate to hit that thumbs up button for me. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And how we gotta wait till the summertime. We're gonna talk about that at the end. Because Owen is playing in our faces right now. But anyway, and make sure you share the video where you have to share your content. Now, for those of you who, keep up with the Ready to Love reviews, I did post the season 4. I'm sorry, episode 4 and 5 review. I literally did it right before the tonight's episode aired. So, finish. You can pause this, go to that, and come back to this, or finish this and go back to that. Whatever you do, make sure you watch both videos. Also, if you are a fan of the family or fiance reviews, some of y'all be watching the old reviews. So I said, let me catch up and give y'all all the reviews of this new season. So I decided to go on to episode 2, and then I got to get y'all episode 3. That one was just really triggering for me, but I'm gonna do it. And then I did finally watch episode 4 tonight, actually. So I will do that. If I don't do those tonight, y'all, because I'm tired and I'm ready to get the spring break popping, I will definitely do them this weekend for sure. Probably tomorrow. So I'm supposed to be outside Sunday, okay? Anyway, I'm on my spring break, okay? Us teachers, we need our spring break. Honey, we need our spring break. Anyway, let's get into the episode real quick. Excuse me. So, episode starts out with the ladies down to the vault. We're loving the vault this season. So Nephew Tommy's like, oh yeah, some of y'all look like y'all still recovering from the block party, and then, which they did. Angie came in there looking real pedestrian, like she just got off of work, child. Anyway, so he said, sometimes y'all keep going after the same type of guy. You're not really getting anywhere. So how about you go after somebody you don't typically go off after? So he wants them to go on dates with, the men that are like their second choice, right? So, and we know that one of the men will be eliminated. So I believe the first date we saw was Deonna, right? She likes to go horseback riding, so she invited Husane. She said Khalil's her top connection, but Husane got her with the height. Husane is a beautiful chocolate tall man. I had to give it to him. And so she invited him out. Now he out in his leather shirt. You could tell he didn't know what he was going to do, what he was going to go do. Anyway, she had picked the big horse. I think his name was Gladiator. And then he was on some other little horse, and during the ride, she said that he couldn't handle that little horse. That's why she was on the big horse. Deonna, I like Deonna. I do like Deonna. She rocks that hair. That's how you rock the blonde, Rocky. Okay, no offense. But Deonna be a little like, she be strong arming people a little bit. Like, okay, girl, okay. But I like Deonna. So anyway, they were sitting down after the horse riding. They had some food. I'm assuming production served them some food or something. They trying to make sure they eat. They trying to do better with that. We heard in the last season that they wasn't feeding the people down the Ready to Love. They couldn't have done me like that, child. I would have been at tapping on somebody's shoulder. So where is the food? And you want me to be out here drinking? No. So anyway. So they were connecting, and I think they were talking about deal breakers in a relationship or something. So he said he doesn't like it when, well, first they talking about, they tired, they want to sleep. She said she slept wrong. She got a massage. Okay. Then they talked about the deal breakers of it all. And he said one of his deal breakers is like when a woman like can't see maybe like what they did wrong, like it's always like their way or their side type of thing, right? And then she said like communication can be a deal breaker for her, like someone not just saying like what it is and letting things go kind of thing. I think that's kind of what she was saying. So anyway, he said, yeah, he could see that. He feels like in his past relationships, like he was maybe too realistic. And so she said, actually, I don't really get that from you. Like, from you, I get like you kind of will let things build up and then say something when it's a problem. Like, that's what I really get from you. Now, I don't know where she got that from. And he was like, I don't know why she coming for me like that. He's like, I communicate with my woman. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about either, because that's not something we've seen of Husane. But again, these people are talking so much outside of the show. We're only getting a 2-minute edited show. And we don't even get to see everybody in the whole episode, because we only seen a little snippet of Kiara in the vault. We didn't see Jay and Kiara go on dates. We didn't see I think we didn't even see Cam go on any dates this particular episode, or Khalil. We didn't see Khalil either. So anyway, excuse me. So excuse me. Then somehow they got on this topic about communication, and she said, work is important to her, and she does put work first. And he said, well, I feel like then you're making work your relationship. Now I feel like Husane was like, you came for me, so I'm about to sin for you. It was giving very much that energy. So he was like, then you make it work your relationship. So she's like, well, I don't have a type of job where I could just be sitting on the phone at the computer like, hey babe, what's going on? And she said she's the type, like, she ain't gonna be communicating with the person all the time, because she's busy working, and she want her man to be like that. Now I understand what Deonna is saying, because I'm the same way. Now I am not a firefighter, okay, but I teach special education, specifically moderate severe, more specific, severely handicapped, right? So it gets very busy and chaotic in my class, especially when I had 10 students at one time. I mean, I can't even tell you how many wheelchairs I had, maybe 6 or 7 wheelchairs. Okay. And then some kids in strollers, and they can walk as well. So like, and I have to manage adults because I have aides and nurses. So working with me in the classroom. So I get that. Like, I don't have time to be texting people all day when I'm at work. I don't. I really don't. Like, I barely get lunch. I'm barely getting a prep, and that's a whole nother story. So I get that. Like, and if a man has got all day, if he has all the time in the world to text me all day and he not busy working, that's a red flag for me. So I get what Deonna was saying, right? Like, now if they not communicating at all, then that's a problem. So she was like, that's too much. So Husane was like, well, then that seems like you're putting work first, and you're trying to make it like your job's more important than another job. Like, doesn't matter if you're, at a computer all day or you putting out fires, like, it's equivalent. Like, you could still make time for a person. He said, like, yeah, I'm gonna work hard and do my job, but I'm gonna make time for my woman. Like, men are the same way, but we're gonna put our woman first. And then she's okay, like, if you're gonna do your job, do your job. So then she was like, oh, so you trying to make it like putting out fires and be at a computer is the same thing. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter if you're a firefighter and your man is a vice president, like, the equivalent. Like, you can't make it like your job is better. So I get what he was trying to say. But I hope, like, he wouldn't think that putting out fires is the same thing as being at a computer. I don't think that's what he was trying to say. That's not what I got from it, but that's what she got from it. And again, the scene is very chopped up, so who knows? Because no, being a firefighter, she's putting her life at risk every day. So there's not many jobs that are comparable to hers, right? The only job that's comparable really is like being a police officer, maybe like flying a plane, things like that. But there's not many jobs as far as the risk that are at the same level as her. So we cannot compare that. That's like apples and oranges, okay? I think what he's trying to say is that because you're a firefighter, you can't make it like your job is more important, so then you can't communicate or that type of thing. I think is what he's trying. That is his point. Like, for example, if somebody is a doctor, if the man is a doctor, and let's say even me being a teacher, he may feel his job is more important because he's a doctor. And I feel my job is equally important as a teacher, right? So, I get what he was trying to say. But yeah, firefighting and sitting at a desk are not the same. She don't have too many jobs that are comparable to hers. No. So anyway, Moving on. They that job. Okay, first of all, that date escalated so quick. Like I was like, okay, Husane and Deonna, I was feeling it. And then at the end, next thing we know, they said, yeah, after this, we really are not compatible. We don't see it for each other. I was like, dang. And it was a lot of crash and burn days this episode. I was like, okay, so we just, but you know what? I wasn't mad at it because this is the point of the process and Ready to Love. So we weeding people out and they're not playing. So I'm not mad at that. Go ahead, Ready to Love. That's what we want to see. Weed people out, child. Get to the bottom of these connections. So anyway, that didn't work out. So then we get another date. I think the Tae and Naeem date was next. So Tae invited Naeem over to her place. They had some dinner. She said, when I first met you, Naeem said he didn't feel no type of way about, going on a date with Tae because of Francisco, because they ain't like they knew each other before the process. And again, there's, no harm, no foul. This is everyone's supposed to date everybody. That's the process. So anywho, so they were eating or whatever. Then they sat down to she was like, first, I really see it for you and all them kids. But then, I really got to know you and I could say, you are a really good dad and I respect that first and foremost. And he's like, yeah, I used to think like, who gonna want me? I'm an old man, I got all these kids. But then, I did some healing work and I started attracting, the right type of people in my life. I guess Naeem. I mean, there is a woman out there for Naeem, like maybe somebody else that has a lot of kids, or somebody else that has kids. I shouldn't say a lot of kids, but somebody else who has kids and doesn't want more kids. Maybe that can be and is comfortable in himself and can co-parent with the other ladies. That is the person for Naeem. Now, where that lady at? I don't know. it ain't me though. And it really shouldn't be you either, Ted. Especially you don't have no kids, no family of your own. I would not jump into no ready-made situation like that personally. Unless I felt I could handle that, right? And I don't know too many people who can handle that. So anyway, they were sitting on the sofa. She had her feet on him, and they decided to play a game. And he pulled a question, said something about watching porn. She was like, "No, we do another question." Then I think he asked her, "Do you want a long-term relationship?" And so she said, "Definitely yes." And she used to be I think a critical care nurse. She said, I think it was critical care nurse, and she would see people, on their last days, on their deathbed, and she said, she wanted to have that person with her, have the family surrounding her, your loved ones and all that. And so he understood all of that. And so they were like, getting really close and saying basically they go together. He's making a joke like that and she's with it. Okay. Anyway, then we see a date with oh sorry y'all. Then we see a date with I forgot to put my phone on silent. My bad. So then let's go to Eddie and Rose real quick. And then we'll do Francisco and Shanice. So Eddie and Rose go on a date. Oh, we also gotta do Fritz and Rose. Rose went on a few dates. So anyway. Oh, and Rose went out with Husane, didn't she? Yeah, it was a lot of dates. Okay, let me backtrack. So who did I say? Angie and Eddie. So Angie and Eddie went on a date. Oh, by the way, Naeem bought Tae roses, and Eddie brought Angie, I think it was like a journal, some type of book. So everybody brought like a gift, I noticed on this particular episode. And so he's like, I pay attention, just like, I pay attention. Now Eddie's a fine man. But Eddie know who to play with, who not to play with, right? So I feel like I feel like Eddie never fully liked Angie like that. Like he's just playing the game. I don't know. I don't see Eddie really being with Angie in real life. I don't see that at all. I don't see that. So he was like, she was asking him about deal breakers and things like that. He got to stop. No, first she asked him what he liked about her, and he said something about her being a mom, how she's really plugged in with that and good with that. That told me everything I need to know. When a man tell you stuff like that, that's not really a quality about you, right? That's who you are. And that's great if you're a good mom. Like, of course, that's what you're supposed to be. But like, what do you like about her as a woman, right? So I was like, wrong answer, in my opinion. So then she was like, what are some deal breakers for you? Then he was like, hold on, let me take my sip of wine first. Yeah, so he said he don't like it when a woman gets all disrespectful, want to argue and all that type of stuff. And then he said cleaning because some of these women don't like to clean. And he real busy, so he needs you to be up in there cleaning. And then she was like, "You want like barefoot and pregnant, cooking and cleaning?" And he was like, not trying to put that on you, but that's basically what he feels like as the woman they should be doing. And she was like, like Eddie wanted mama. No. She was like, "Oh, I can't stand you." She was over it. She was so disappointed, and I'm not mad at her. Eddie play all day though. So then they got on the topic of her being in contact with her exes, and she feels like she supports her exes, they support her. And even one of her best friends, they try to be intimate, but it didn't work out, and they're best of friends, and she ain't get rid of him. And he said he wouldn't really like that. And she's like, okay, but then we talk about respect and all that. And she was like, yeah, but if they popped up, they called, like he really wouldn't be here for that. And so Angie was disappointed because she was like, yeah, we are not compatible. She was like, check, please. So I was like, dang, another one bites to this. All right. But I feel like at the end of the day, Eddie was not really interested in Angie because I'm going to jump around a bit. And we get to the vault and I'm hearing, okay, Angie complains about Eddie, but Deonna was like, okay, no, me and Eddie, we have these deep conversations. We did this, we do that, we do this. I feel like Eddie know not to play in Deonna's face, but he was gonna play in Angie's face all day, right? That's what I feel like. Anyway, so that day didn't work out. Then we get Shanice and Francisco. Now Shanice didn't tell Francisco what he was going to do. And they ended up doing this body painting thing. Now they edited this scene and chopped it up real bad because we already seen the girl's titties was showing in the beginning, and then when he went to paint her, and then she said she liked to be nudist and she let it all hang out. I was like, we didn't already seen it. It was already out there. So anyway, she asked him, what's something about you nobody else knows. He said, in his last relationship, he dealt with a lot of hurt and pain, and he really shut down, and he didn't really want to open up to anybody. And she was like, okay, well, that's good. But now he's trying to open up. Okay. So then she's like, it's good. It's good, important to have somebody. And she's like, you got to have all the money and the cars and everything in the world. But if you don't have, love, you don't have a person, then you don't really have nothing at all. And I was like, Shanice, girl, did they not tell you, girl, he ain't got nothing anyway. He ain't got all the money and the fancy things. He don't got a car. He ain't got the normal things, let alone the fancy things, girl. He ain't got no car, girl. He ain't got no job. Nah, he do got a job. But he ain't got a place to stay, girl. He renting a room, so he ain't. I was like, on Twitter, I was like, girl, Shanice, girl, he ain't got none of that. He ain't got it. He ain't got it. You ain't got to worry about that. He just trying to get a person right now because child, he ain't got the rest. Okay. Anyway, so she was painting on him, and she was like, "What level of comfortability are you?" And he took off the robe, but it looked like he had on some black shorts, something. Now I couldn't tell if Shanice had on bottoms or not. It was hard the way the camera was filming it. I pray she had on bottoms, but she may not have had on bottoms. She may not have had on any bottoms, y'all. So anyway, he started painting her, and then that's when she was like telling him, really she about that nudity life. Around her house, she be naked. She feel like clothes should be optional, so she's showing this is who she is. And then it's getting a little hot and steamy, and he was painting all on her. He's like, oh, okay, we go in there. But like I said, we had already seen them. It was already blurred out up there. She had already showed us the tatas. Okay. I was like, okay, Shanice, girl. Okay, Shanice, you like your body, girl. She said she's all about being comfortable in her body and body positivity. I'm all for it, girl. Okay. But I don't know if I would have did all that on TV like that, but that's you, girl. Anywho, Francisco, he felt kind of bad because he's trying to make a connection with Tae, but I'm sure he ain't feel that bad. All right. Let's talk about Rose. So Rose went on a date with Husane. The restaurant they looked really interesting because everything was red. I was like, what restaurant is that? So he brought her flowers. Now I didn't see Francisco bring Shanice a gift, but again, he bad on his luck, so he probably didn't have no money for gifts and whatnot. Anyway, back to Husane and Rose. Oh, I feel like I got to sneeze. So y'all know I do not like sneezing on camera. I'll pause it if I have to. Anyway, so Shanice and Husane, I think he brought her some white roses or something. Anywho, she was like, okay, tell me something about you, nobody else knows. And so he was like, well, not everybody know, or she said like, not everybody knows. And she's like, well, not everybody, but he did say that he was in the foster care system because he got ripped from his house from age like 13 to college, basically. And it did cause a rift in the family, especially with him and his mom. But they're rebuilding and repairing it now and every day. It could be challenging. And even when he talked about it in the confessional, he got a little choked up, which told me it's still a sore spot for him. Oh, my heart just broke for Husane. And it's very interesting they talked about this because in one of my classes, we were just discussing the foster care system and how students are really, or kids, I should say, are really affected by that. And in the study, they're talking about how I gotta get my charger, y'all. How one kid had been bounced around, I think to like 68 placements or something crazy like that. So, that foster care system is no joke. So then, Rose shared that she also was in the foster care system to the age of 10 because her parents, they needed to get it together, but they eventually did. And she, was reunited with them. I need some water, y'all. Hold on. So, of course, my heart goes back out to Roseanne Husane because of both of them, what they went through. And she's like, I just want to love on this man. By the way, Rose, that natural hair in your confessional looks good. Rose, I need Rose to keep on wearing that natural hair. Her natural hair looks so good on her, like so good. She rocks it. So anyway, she said, she hugs her son tight every day, and then she was asking him about like would he be open to adopting, because she said she had her son, but then she suffered quite a bit of miscarriages after that, and so she was asking him, would you be open to adopting? Now he hesitated, but he did say yes. Because she was like, I know you want your own kids one day. Now, I thought Husane had a kid because Angie got him the keychain. So I was confused because I was like, the way he was talking, like he didn't have his own kids unless she meant like have your own kids with her. I was confused. I was like, I thought he did have a kid. But anyway, if y'all clear that up in the comments, let me know. So then he said, he would be open to adopting, and Rose is happy with him. Rose and Husane makes sense. They had their initial connection. I could see them working out. I think she should go Husane over Cam, in my opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I mean, we're still figuring out these connections, so it may be too early to tell. So then we also see Rose go on a date with Fritz. They go-kart racing. She beat him in the go-kart racing. And so they got them some food again. She said it was right on time, child. So anyway, he brought her a little plant. He says a low maintenance plant. I can't remember if she asked him about deal breakers or not. Oh, she said she don't know. She asked him about the condiments because they had a bunch of condiments on the table for the food, and she said she don't have ketchup or hot sauce in her house. And he was like, she's like, oh, you don't either? And he's like, no, I have ketchup and hot sauce in my house. He's like, because I'm black. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't have ketchup or hot sauce in my house either because I really don't eat it. Like I've been stopped eating ketchup because I was like, what's the point of ketchup, right? It's unnecessary, calories, sugar, everything. Like, ugh. And then I'm not a big spicy eating girl. Like I eat more spice now than I ever did, but I've never been like, oh, I need to put hot sauce and everything. That's never been my thing because my body just doesn't handle like too many spices well, like hot stuff well. This doesn't really agree with me. Sorry for the TMI. So I don't have hot sauce in my house either. Sorry. But if anybody wants it, I will buy it, right? Anyway. I don't know if they talked about deal breakers or not, or who knows, whatever. But anyway, somehow they got on topic of, Rose talking about, no, I think she jumped right into them miscarriages again. And I was like, oh, Rose, girl, you doing a bit much with this. So she's telling Fritz now that she's had all these miscarriages and she knows, he might want kids of his own, would he be open to adoption? And he, would that be an issue for him or deal breaker or whatever? And he was like, oh no, like all this technology now and the way, medical sciences came far, like he's like, we do a surrogate. no problem. And then she was like, we not doing no surrogate. We not doing no surrogate. She's like, no, I've carried my own child. Like, there's nothing like it. She's like, we can adopt, but he's like, but then you're taking a chance for me to have my own kid away from me. And she was like, no, she ain't about that surrogate life. And she said, as the conversation went on, she found out a lot of stuff about him that she didn't know and she didn't like. But I feel like, girl, was it just a surrogate thing? Because that's not a deal breaker, in my opinion. Like, I get what she's saying, but that's something they can eventually figure out how to compromise, right? Like, they can maybe eventually work that out. But they said they're going to try. But I'm like, y'all ain't even knowing y'all connected. And you talking about you going to try to have a baby? What is y'all talking about? Anyway, girl, bye. So, moving on. Let's see. Did we get all the dates? I think Rose had her 3 dates. Right. It was Rose. Wait, who am I missing? I know Tae. Okay, we gotta talk about Tae and Francisco. I think this was the last day before the vault, if I'm not mistaken. If I missed a date, y'all let me know in the comments. Anyway, so Francisco and Tae on a date. They're supposed to be using chopsticks. Well, Francisco comes up to her and he's like, "What you been doing?" She's like, "Thinking about you." I was like, "Oh my god, girl, please." So then they go sit down. He don't know how to use chopsticks. Bless his heart. She's trying to explain it to him. He like, you don't know. So then they start talking about the process, and she wasn't feeling sure about him. She said she was not really processing everything in the beginning, but now she feels like she needs to strengthen her connection with him. But she was feeling unsure, and he's like, I know you like to travel. You like, to go out, you like nice things. And he's like, I know I need to match your energy. And he's saying, now that, I have you and it's motivating and I'm going to definitely do that if it's worth anything. She was like, yeah, it is. And she said that basically her dad had abandoned her when she was little. And so she always worries like if somebody else is going to abandon her. So she really got out the relationship before they like leave and hurt her. Like, so she's worried like, is he gonna like, come up and then leave her for a white girl, basically, and not that he's gonna leave her for a white girl, but y'all know what I mean. Like, once they get on, then they move on. And a lot of guys do that. So I understand her feelings. She said, her and her dad are cool now, but those abandonment issues still linger for her. And she said she didn't want to stop him from achieving his goals or having his dreams. I personally would not fool with Francisco Tae. I don't know what Tae is doing or what Tae is thinking, unless she's just doing this to stay on the show. I don't understand this. Like, no, I'm so confused right now. Anywho, he said, he could relate to her. He only met his dad a couple times, and then he tried to reach out to him when he's 27, and he found out he passed away, but he keeps him in his heart. And so, basically they agreed to, he was okay. So about, these connections, like, where are we at with this? And they decided to, focus on each other. Now he said he felt bad about the date with Shanice and he felt like maybe he should tell her. He ain't telling Tae nothing because she found out that vault and you ain't feel bad enough for me. Anyway, they end up kissing and the restaurant is cheering him on. And Tae in the confessional talking about that's her man. She happy to say that's her man. I was like, girl, that's your man. Francisco with no car and no house. I don't get it. Am I confused? Am I tripping? Am I lost? I don't get it at all. Anyway, so let's see. Then I think we get to the vault. I think we covered all the dates. Child, I hope I did. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure we covered all the dates. So we get down to the vault. The ladies come in. So Nephew Tommy asked them about their date. So Tae talks about her date with Naeem and how she just was staring at him. That's your problem, Tae. So just taking them all in. Tommy's like, is that bun? Naeem's a nice looking guy. I ain't gonna take it from him, but I wouldn't deal with them kids. No way. Then she said she had a date with Francisco and they was smiling at each other. He's making her feel warm and fuzzies inside. So then Shanice talked about her date with Francisco and how she was letting it all hang out. And so they was like, girl, you was naked? And then she's like, yes, y'all don't be shocked. Y'all know I've been naked around you. It's, and they was like, that's different. She was like, you know how I am. That's my life. And Nephew Tommy was falling out his seat down there. He was like, what? So then she was like, next time you tell me this is my journey to be open. He didn't tell you to be open like that, girl. What you talking about? So Rose is like, child, you only live once. If that's what you're gonna do, girl. Go ahead. So she said, they did the body painting and they got real intimate. They had, deep conversations. So Tay was like, oh, Tay was out there drinking that wine. Tay was taking it back. She said in the confessional, she was like, he didn't tell me all this. Or, she's like the body painting, whatever the F they did. You could tell Tay was mad. And Tay, this is what you get when you play stupid games, you win silly prizes, right? This is what you get. But okay. If that's still your man, I guess. I already know Francisco gonna play in Tay's face all day, talking about he gonna lock it in with her and talking about, yeah, because she asked him, was he back to Tae and Francisco's date real quick. She said she want to get married. He's like, oh yeah, I'm married tomorrow. This man getting ready to play in Tay's face all day. Mark my words. He's going to play in Tay's face all day. If they make it to the bridge, they ain't gonna last. Okay. If they make it to the bridge. Mark my words. And I'm not wishing bad ill on Tay. I just want her to make better choices. Okay. Anyway, but maybe just for the show. Moving on. Then Nephew Tommy asked him who they not feeling. Angie not feeling Eddie, and she's disappointed about it because what he was saying. And then I think Rose also, no, not Rose. Somebody else mentioned Eddie. Sahara, I think, mentioned Eddie and how it's giving like Playboy vibes, and they feeling like maybe it was Kiera too. Somebody said he's giving like Playboy vibes, like he's saying all the same stuff to everybody. And Sahara felt like he was, being a player and all that. And he was unserious. And so Deonna was like, no, you felt that way. She was like, no, your experience is specific to you. Because Deonna said, I don't feel that way. And they played a flashback clip. And she's like, she feels like her and Eddie have deep conversations. Again, Eddie don't like Sahara, just like he don't like Angie. So, of course, he going to play in their faces all day to stay on the show. He know not to come at Deonna like that. Deonna gives very much, you don't play in Deonna's face. Nobody's going to play in Deonna's face. Okay, because she's a strong woman, right? She gives that energy of like you not coming to play in her face. Anyway, so there's a lot of debate about the men in this particular deliberation. Also, I think Husane came up. Deonna didn't like Husane because he tried to compare being a firefighter to sitting down to the secretary desk or something like that, or answering phone calls or something, sitting at a computer, I think it was. And Nephew Tommy's like, no, that is not the same. No. So she's not feeling him. And so Rose is like, well, me and Husane, we had a good day. We good. So there's that on that. So again, like somebody have one good experience with a man and somebody else cannot have the same experience. That means they're just not for you, right? That's what it is. Anyway. So then I think Fritz came up and Sahara started talking about Fritz. Oh, my clothes are done in the dryer. And so how, he was speaking ill of her in the ball and she didn't appreciate that. Kiera said he really want that polygamy lifestyle. Like that's how it is. Oh, somebody said that Eddie was making them feel real sexual. That was Tay said that. That was Tay. And then somebody else said something about Fritz. And so Sahara was like, yeah, he's trying to put me in the bottom. And so Sahara going off about Fritz. And so Deonna was like, okay, but that's not making sense. Like, Shanice and Deonna basically like, we ain't had that experience with Fritz. So like, what you talking about? And so they're like, you need to tell the whole story. You're not telling the whole story. I was like, well, wait, what's the whole story? So I was confused. I was like, so then to me, at first I was taking it like they're not believing her because of the way Sahara is, but Sahara's not lying. So Sahara was like, well, the date I went on with him last week, he just said that he wasn't taking this competition seriously until last week, the day before. So she was like, there's that. And so Nephew Tommy's like, wait a minute, why'd you go on a date with him if you weren't feeling him? If you guys weren't feeling each other. And so then Sahara said, no, we were good and we were feeling each other. But then he was talking about me in the vault. But this is where Sahara lost me. Because at first I was defending Sahara. I was like, oh, they just, being mean to Sahara because they don't like how she is. But then Sahara said that her and Fritz were good. Girl, Fritz and you were never good. Like Fritz never liked Sahara. He made that very clear. So I don't know where she got that. Like, I don't know. I was very much confused. Like, Fritz never liked her. So I think that's why the ladies were not here for it. And Shanice said that Sahara's not telling the whole story and she's being manipulative. Now I don't know if that's it, but Sahara was like basically his ass is grass. So basically Sahara's like, I'm gonna get him out of here the way he's getting me out of here. Now, do Fritz play all day and he's weird? Yes. But Fritz never liked that lady, so there's that. It was getting real messy. Nephew Tommy was like, again, your journey is your journey. He tired of these people. So anyway, Nephew Tommy said take them on a date and tell them, they're not ready to love. One man's going home. So Sahara took out Fritz. I said, I know production did this for entertainment purposes only. Y'all ain't right. Y'all is not right, ready to love. And Rose took out Eddie. Now Eddie was ordering him a drink. Rose ordered her some water with some lemon. And so she tells Eddie, like, you're giving very much flirtatious, you're giving a playboy vibe. And he's like, oh, I feel like, you got to get to know me. It's very service. She's like, okay, but you got to be deeper. This is like speed dating. And he was feeling like, he damned if you do, damned if you don't. And then she also brought up the drinking. He said he likes to go out and have a good time, socialize and drink. Now, I don't know if Eddie has a drinking problem per se or not. I don't know. But I can see where they're getting the playboy vibe from him. I can see that. I can totally see that because he know who to do that with and who not to do that with, like I said. So then over there with Fritz and Sahara, it's very awkward. And Sahara was like, she had a long day. He's like, you want to talk about it? And he said he busy with work. She's like, you're always busy. And then she was like, we met, you was just, smearing my name in the vault. And you was saying all this and you didn't, talk about our date and how we had good energy on the date. And he was like, you're right. I didn't talk about the date. I was wrong for that. And he was like, but you got some friends. And she was like, but not you. And then he's like, oh, like, come on. And then I think she started talking about the polyester, the polyester Polly Poppy came back in. And he's like, dang, that was brought up again. And then y'all, next thing we know, they said, find out what happens this summer. And they show us this trailer for the rest of the season coming this summer. And I said, wait a minute, what? So at first I thought we had to wait 2 weeks. Because sometimes Ready to Love will take a 1 week off. So I thought it was like, oh, it's time for them to take their 1 week off. Fine, I'll do that. Not we got to take 3 months off because summer, it ain't even spring yet. Spring barely coming this week. So then we got to wait 3 months till summer for Ready to Love. And we don't even know if it's going to be June or July type summer, August type summer. Like, what kind of summer are we waiting till? I said, Ready to, what? I'm going to split up a season of a show if they don't do nothing else. So now we got to wait 3 or 4 months before we can figure out who got eliminated because they did a cliffhanger. So we don't know if Eddie or Fritz going home. I personally think Fritz is going home. But we're going to make a prediction and wait 3 months. Child, that's stupid. Oh, my God. I'm so irritated with that. And then, so I'm like, well, what are we watching? So whenever Evermets got renewed for season 2, y'all already know, they come back, I think it's April 4th. But that's like 2 weeks away. Yeah. That's like 2 or 3 weeks away, really. 3 weeks away. So I don't know, child. I don't know why they did that, but we know Ready to Love for now, y'all. So I guess over here on this channel we'll just do Family or Fiance. Love and Marriage Detroit when it comes back. When y'all know the date for that, let me know. And we'll figure out what else we could talk about. Maybe we'll do, some Real Housewives of Atlanta shorts or something, child. I don't know, but they disappointed me. First of all, this tired cliffhanger. Stop giving us these cliffhangers. Then we got to wait down to the summertime for the rest of the season. That don't make no sense. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, y'all. And I will talk to y'all very soon. Don't forget to check out the other reviews I did post and stay tuned for more reviews to come. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Turn on your bell notifications. Comment down below. Share the video where you like to share your content. And I will see y'all again very soon. Bye.